Okay, once you've gotten your all your shapes outlined for your portrait for Black History Month, then we're gonna go in and start adding color. Let me zoom out. So I've went in and outlined everything. Now I'm going to start adding color. I'm going to start with the basic shape of the face that we started with and do the mid-tone of the face first. So this middle color, we're going to fill in. Let's go ahead and start. We'll start with this color. And that obviously is a little bit too orange. So now I'm going to go to custom. We're going to go a little over here. Let's see. We don't want it quite so orange. Maybe right here. Let's try that. That's good. All right. So now that I've got the basic mid-tone in, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit and go start adding the highlights. So I'm going to click, this is a highlight. And if you hold shift while you click, you can actually click multiple things. So let's see, everywhere I had a highlight, I think that was all my highlights. So I'm going to go in to my color picker again and click on custom. Whoops, let's cancel that. Let's click on this to start with and then custom. That way now I can pick a highlight for that color just a little bit lighter. And that's going to add the highlights. And I am going to click on this pencil to make the outline transparent. I actually forgot to do that on the face. So I'm going to click back on the face, click on the pencil and make it transparent for the border. Now I'm going to click on the, let's do the neck next. And we're going to start with this color we already started with, but it's going to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to go to custom again and make the neck a bit darker. Right there. Boy. Maybe just a little bit darker. There we go. And then click on the pencil tool again and transparent for the border. And then I'm going to click on the ear shape and choose that color I just picked for the neck. And I'm going to go to transparent border. And now let's go ahead and do the shadows. So I'm going to click on all of the shadows, holding down the shift. So I'm going to go with the shade that I made the neck and start from there and go to custom and actually make those shadows even a little bit darker. Let's go there. And then go to the pencil tool and transparent. So now you can see the highlights and the shadows are starting to come through. This is actually supposed to be a highlight, so I'm going to go to my, select it, go to my fill tool, make that a highlight, make the border transparent. And let's go ahead and go to the nostrils next. Click on those. Let's see, we'll start with this one and then go to custom. And that's almost going to be black, not quite black, but pretty close. Take the transparent border off and unclick that. There is still some shadows in here that I missed. So I'm going to click on those. Just going in and you're clicking on the highlights and the shadows and putting in all your shadow areas. And then taking off the border of the shape. Now I'm going to go ahead and select the lips. Let's start with this color. And then I know, take the border off. I know this top lip, oops, the top lip is going to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to go to custom again. Let's pick a little bit darker shade. All right. And then I have shadows here. So I'm going to start with this dark shade. I might click on both of those. And then go to custom and make them even darker. And then take the border off. So you can see it's starting to come together. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and select the white part of the eyes first. And we'll choose white, but I know they're not completely white. They're a little bit of off-white. So I'm going to go into custom and maybe like a yellowish color. Maybe even a bit darker. Let's try. Oops, not that dark. All right. Oh, I forgot to take the border off. Let's do that. Transparent. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on the iris. And I'm going to go up to color, and I know her eyes are brown, but I'm going to go with a gradient for her eyes, and I'm going to go with a custom gradient, and I want it to be radial. And for this, right now the light color is selected, so I want to go with a light brown. Let's see, let's go in this. It's a little bit too orangey. Let's go over here. Okay. And then I'm going to pick the dark color. And to do that, you just click on that square right here. And now I'm going to click on the circle and go to custom to change the color. Let's see. I think that's a good brown. And you can actually add stops if you want. Maybe I'll make that just another. Let's do that. So you can add as many stops as you want, just kind of play around with it. And so I'm going to click OK for that. I might actually make it just a little bit darker. So let's go to gradient and custom again. And I am going to add a stop right there. So I want this one to be even darker. Really dark brown. Okay. All right, I like that better. And then I am going to take off the border, make it transparent, and unclick on those. And now I'm going to zoom in just a little bit because it's getting harder to select these because they're smaller. And I'm going to select the pupils now. And I'm going to shift select so I can do them both at the same time. And I'm going to fill them with black. And make the border transparent. Unclick. And now I'm going to click on these little highlights. And those we are going to make white. Whoops. Let's undo that. Obviously I had selected way too much. Uh-oh. So let's see what happened here. I think I might have put a gradient on another part. We'll have to fix that later. Okay. So I'm going to zoom back in and do the select tool and select these highlights and click them on white and transparent border. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on the top of the eyelid. These are kind of like where the eyelashes would be. So that's actually going to be a little bit darker color. Let's make it pretty dark. Might make it even darker. Almost black. All right. And I'm going to take off the border. And you can actually see how this is not quite lining up right. So I am going to double click on the shape. And it gives me these little anchor points that I can actually drag and move around to get them to line up the way I want them to line up. I feel like this might need to be skinnier. There we go. So if you see anything not the way you want it, you can always double click and drag it. I'm going to do this other part of her eye, which is kind of like that, like the fleshy part of the inside that you see. So it's going to be a darker color. I'm going to go in, be like that color. I'm going to actually make that a custom color, I think, and add just a little bit of reddish to it. There we go. Oh, that might be too red. Okay. Now I'm going to take the border off. Whoops. I'm going to double click on this and kind of shape it a little more. So that it lines up better with her eye. I think that's good. I'm going to double click on this and drag it down a little bit. So you're just going to have to like adjust and tweak things as you see they need to be fixed. So you're just going to keep going, adding shadows and highlights and playing with the colors. I think that shadow might be just a little bit too dark. Let's try that. That's a little better. Oops, I forgot to take off the border. So you're going to keep going until you get it the way you like it. You are going to notice that not everything always lines up the way you want it to. So you might have to change the order of things. So like for her ear right here, I want it to be behind the face. It's looking a little weird. So I'm going to click on the ear and then arrange in order, and I'm going to send it backwards. So I'm sending it behind the things it's in front of. And keep sending it backwards till I get it to where I want it to be. There we go. Now I can see more of her actual face right there. Gonna change those. Need to be super dark. Let's see. Take off the border. So you're just going in and playing with the color. So now it's just like tweaking some of these things. Like right here, I can see not everything is lining up quite the way I want it to. So I can zoom in and let's see this part. Let's double click on that and let's make it go behind this one. So just go in and now you're just kind of tweaking it, seeing what needs to be fixed, like little details. Let's zoom back out. So that's how you color it. Obviously, I'm not finished. I still have a ways to go. Once you get it all colored, then you can actually take this picture that we've been working with from the background and you can actually move it over, and we'll end up deleting this and getting rid of this. So I would go ahead and keep it under there for now, just in case you need it as a reference. Whoops. You can undo it if you move it to the side and you need to get it back. So that's how you're going to color it. Just keep adding details and shadows. And if you end up not liking the shade of the shadows, like, you can go in and change the colors up some.